So welcome back. Um, I decided to make a video about a pretty obvious subject that often comes up. And the subject is basically what's real. Because um, we live in a very, very strange age right now. We can get access to all kinds of amazing information, some of it completely useless, a large amount of it actually. But among all that, there's also very important real information to have, practical information. And then, besides the practical information that we need to function, we need to know what the real rules of the road are, so to speak. But we also have options of encountering reality, our experience, whatever we experience in our life throughout our decades of life, and that's real. We have experiences and so on, and it's real, and we associate everything. Now, however, this is a very old subject because for a long, long time people ask that question, what's real? So how do you know? You listen to stuff on the news, and it's always been a problem. What's real? Is the gossip real? I mean, imagine back a long time ago when, you know, you might hear a rumor that a king 500 miles away died, but you wouldn't really find out about it until somebody went there. Or, you'd hear a rumor perhaps. So we need some kind of reference point, and that's why we always ask this question, what's real? Now, Buddha said that all compounds are perishable. Now, in our day and age, that should be pretty obvious to us. Now, all we got to do is go look in the mirror and look and say, is that a compound? Yes, it is. So when we ask that question, what's real, we have to really look at ourselves. Well, what about us is real? We're temporary, very, very temporary. And trees live longer than people sometimes, often. Parrots live longer than people sometimes. So what is the reality? We want to know what's real. Now, there's a really ancient tradition that is often poo-pooed that basically says, look, as far as your eyes can see and your ears can hear, and every sense that you have, as far as you can perceive, all of that is illusion. All of that is not real. Now, if you have a basic understandings of modern quantum science and so on, electronics, just light is a transient thing. The perception that we have of our daily life that's, allowed to happen by the interaction of all this energy and force that's fleeting. Our body is not in the same condition in the evening as when we woke up. But it's happening slowly. So what is the part of us that's asking? Who is asking the question about what is real or not? And that's what ancient tradition out of Buddha and India and many different traditions basically asks this question. Okay, who are you? Then know who you are, know what you are. And the Upanishad says, it's not the seer that needs to be known, it's not what's seen that needs to be known, it's the seer. It's not what you hear that you need to know, you need to know the hearer. So when we ask ourselves, and we have so much information today, and it's crazy. I have listened to all kinds of videos and all kinds of information on the internet. It's unbelievable. Make your head spin around 20 times this way and then 20 times the other way, and you wonder, like, okay, well, what is the reference point here? What is the reality here? Among all the stuff that we hear about aliens and worlds and Mars and ghosts and spirit beings and all kinds of stuff. But what's real? What about our own consciousness now? So now I'm going to probably have a number of segments about what is real because it's a very important subject, and it's perfectly logical. We need to ask. We need to use our brain, our senses to understand. That's important. We need to ask questions. If something seems ridiculous, we should challenge it until we know, until we understand. Now, along the way, we understand that if we're going to make a decision, first of all, we're not going to wait for somebody else to say, okay, now here it is, this is what's real. That's not going to work. What we have to come to a place in ourselves where we know, I know what's real because I can tell. I can tell it's real. I don't need any reference point from someone else, you see. Now, to do that, we need to expand our senses somewhat. We need to realize, first of all, how good, how beautiful what we know of our senses, the givens, the frequency range of our eyes and our ears and our sensitivity to touch and feel and smells and all of that. And then another type of awareness builds by allowing our electrical field to feeling our electrical field and how that's involved in what's around. It's a more subtle level of perception. And so asking the question, what is real, has an awful lot to do with how good are our faculties. If our faculties are very narrow, and we know that we only see a very narrow band of light, and some animals can see infrared, and some animals can hear way above our range or below our range. So right there we have to realize our perception is limited, and therefore our capacity to understand reality now is limited because we challenge and challenge. There are skeptics and, okay, I don't believe that. I just won't believe. I mean, I won't believe there are aliens until they land on my head in the yard, they come up and shake my hand, we have a barbecue together. And then maybe I won't believe them because I'll figure it's probably the government of Hollywood or something. But the reality of our own existence and how capable are we to perceive the moments of our life, the subtleties of our life, and our existence. So now, I'm going to have some more segments about just learning to sensitize ourselves and perceive what's real, kind of sift things out, because there's a lot of crazy, I gotta admit, there's a lot of stuff out there now. But somewhere inside we have the answers we know in a deep place within ourselves.